Hi, this is Debbie Maldonado of the Academy of Jungian Spiritual Psychology, where we provide the highest level of training for coaches and for women leaders to reach their full potential based on Jungian psychology. Now, I wanted to talk today about the imposter syndrome and why it's actually a good thing to have it, and it's actually very normal. And if those of you who don't know what it is, the imposter syndrome is this feeling that the person that everyone thinks we are is really not who we are. So no matter how much success you've reached, maybe you have other people adoring you, maybe you're a celebrity, or maybe you are putting yourself out there as an expert, but secretly struggling in your business, and you're supposed to be this great business coach or this great business leader, and you're personally struggling with your business and you're hoping that no one finds out what a mess you really are inside. That is the imposter syndrome. And it really is created if you look at Jungian psychology and his idea of the shadow. Now, if you don't know that, I'm going to explain to you that when you create a persona or a mask that you put out into the world for people to interact with. So if you put yourself out there on your website or on social media as an expert, what happens is the persona takes on one role and the opposite goes into the shadow, or it goes underneath, the undercover, and it becomes the things about us that we deny or we push away. So if you identify with yourself as an expert, you automatically put in your shadow the non-expert, the novice, the incompetent, the failure. And so everything that you do to uphold your success, if you're tied to that idea of I'm the expert, you will be also using all your energy to make sure no one ever sees you as a failure. Now imagine how much pressure that puts on you, how much maybe you work harder than you need to, or how you feel dissatisfied no matter how much success you get. It's because the shadow, this unconscious part of you that you keep pushing away, keeps telling you, you're not that great. You could be doing better. If you worked harder, you could be at her level now. Or every time someone maybe gives you a criticism or feels that you're not helping them, you really take it to heart and want to fix it. All that is so draining and emotionally exhausting to keep that idea up. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't put yourself out there as an expert. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you have to stop identifying your ego with that marketing persona. When we create a marketing persona and a brand identity, we have to remember it's an act. It's not who we really are. It's something we're performing to put out there. Like Lady Gaga has her little makeup and her crazy clothes that she used to wear as her persona, but it wasn't really who she was. And the way she was able to really change and grow and develop as an artist is because she didn't get attached to that persona. She knew it was a game. But most of us, when we're first starting out, we're told you have to be the expert, you have to act like the expert. And we tend to have an inflated ego around it. And believe me, in the personal development field, there's a lot of inflated egos. And I'm also saying this from personal experience. I too got caught up in that idea that I always have to be the expert. I have to have all the answers. I have to know it all. And that was completely exhausting for me. And it was never enough. So what's the antidote? How do we escape the shadow, and how do we create from a different place? Well, first of all, you have to just know that you are not the ego. That the ego is just a conditioned idea of this personal little I that we were born into. Part of our conditioning. It's our survival mind. And it's basically what I'd say most of the people on the planet are actually operating from. But there's another part of you. And if you really pay attention, there's another part that's the witness. It's this kind of other consciousness that's within us that is not the thinker. It's actually watching the thinker. And that's really our true self. It's untouched by this world. It doesn't care if everyone thinks we're an expert, or if we had a great 6-figure month, or if our book became a bestseller. It loves us, and it just so accepting and unlimited to what's possible. And so what we want to do is step more into that part of our mind, because that part of our mind, when we stop operating from that conditioning survival mind and keeping up with everyone else and making sure we look good to everyone else, we end up creating something really bigger than we thought we could. And there really is no persona that can match the grandness of who you are. If you settle for just being an expert, let me tell you, that is a low bar, because you are really capable of so much more. You are an unlimited conscious being. So you have to remember that the true nature of who you are is that, and just notice every time you get caught up with getting a bad review or an email from a client that triggers you, or when your friend who started her business the same time as you is doing better than you financially and you're wondering why you're not doing as well as she is. Remember, you're caught up in that imposter syndrome, that persona of being the expert and creating its opposite. Another quick tip is actually go toward that fear of being incompetent, of being the novice. What is so bad about that? Why are you running away from it? Why is it such a terrible thing? And I promise, if you just sit with it and watch that emotion arise and listen to the stories, you're going to realize how much this has run your life and your business. So if this sounds really interesting for you to transcend the ego and really step into your power, I invite you to check out our new event called Alchemy, where I will personally take you through a way to access the deeper aspects of who you are through the 4 feminine archetypes, to bring you to a greater version of yourself besides just the brand expert, something even more profound that's aligned with your higher mission here, and that will bring you more success and more abundance than you can even imagine. So come to our website at debbieanddrrob.com and find out more about our event called Alchemy, and apply today to be a part of the magic. This is Debbie Maldonado. Remember to believe in yourself and not the label that you put out there, and know that you are capable of infinite possibilities. Take care.